To order, a quorum is present. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess at any time. Pursuant to Committee Rule 5B and House Rule 11, Clause 2, the chair may postpone further proceedings today on the question of approving any measure or matter or adopting an amendment on which a recorded vote or the yeas and nays are ordered. The committee will continue to use the electronic system for recorded votes on amendments and passage of the bills before the committee. Of course, should any technical issues arise, which I do not anticipate, we will immediately transition to traditional roll call votes. Any procedural or motion-related votes during today's markup will be dispensed with by a traditional roll call vote. Our next item for consideration is H.R. 3642, the Executive Branch Accountability and Transparency Act of 2023. The clerk will please designate the bill.
H.R. 3642, the Executive Branch Accountability and Transparency Act of 2023, a bill to require the Office of Government Ethics to establish and maintain a centralized database for executive branch ethics records of non-career appointees.
Without objection, the bill should be considered as read and open for amendment at any point. Without objection, so ordered. The chair recognizes himself to offer an amendment in the nature of substitute. The clerk will please designate the amendment.
An amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 3642 is offered by Mr. Comer of Kentucky.
Without objection, the amendment is considered as read, and the substitute will be considered as original text for the purposes of further amendment. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes for a statement on the bill and the amendment. It's been said that sunlight is the best disinfectant. That's why preventing conflicts of interest in the federal workforce requires public access to and scrutiny of financial and ethics disclosure. Such legal requirements are the basis of the U.S. government's anti-corruption and enforcement efforts. The Executive Branch Accountability and Transparency Act represents an opportunity to continue to update the federal ethics disclosures regime in a way that eases public's access to non-career federal employee filings. Specifically, the bill modernizes the federal financial and ethics disclosure system to improve timely access to records that are otherwise required to be publicly accessible. It does so by directing federal agencies to create and maintain common databases housing covered employee filings in a way that eases public access and scrutiny. This bill resembles recent laws providing similar changes to financial and ethics disclosure processes for members of Congress and federal judges, such as the Stock Act and the Courthouse Ethics and Transparency Act. Simply put, this bipartisan legislation improves the transparency and accessibility of the established federal ethics disclosure system in order to better prevent executive branch employee conflicts of interest. I thank my colleague, Mr. Langworthy, for introducing this legislation and urge my colleagues to support the bill. I now recognize the ranking member for his statement.
And thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. The executive